Good evening, everybody. This is Victor Kilo 4, Golf Romeo Bravo, Gary in Faryiryland. Current temperature outside is 19.0 degrees, 51% humidity, 2k a breeze. That's the outside temperature here in Maryborough. Faryiryland. Try again. Okay, we'd like to also welcome any listeners on the Tablelands repeater. Feel free to call in. No problems at all. This is VK4 Golf Romeo Bravo. It's just gone 19:30 hours, 7:30 p.m. 09:30 UTC. It is a Wednesday night, so it's another VK4BAD bad net for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. We hold this net every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m, 19:30 hours, 09:30 UTC. I'll now change my call sign to the club call of VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. Okay, this is VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Now listening for any call-ins. VK4BAD.
VK4 Mike Victor. VK4GRB. 4 Foxtrot Alpha X-ray.
Okay, we've got VK4 Mike Victor, L in Dalby. VK4JRA Jake in Dalby. And VK4FAX Don in Drayton. This is VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Listening for any other call-ins. VK4BAD. Okay, nothing heard at the present time. I'd like to say so far everybody has been full quietening and nice and strong into the repeater with no background noise or anything like that. Okay, this is VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Still listening. Anyone else want to call in before we start the first round? VK4BAD? Okay, nothing heard at the present time. Maybe someone will come in later on. Okay, as it goes, VK4 Mike Victor, L, VK4JRA, Jake, and VK4FAX, Don. Yeah, or out here I've been having a bit of a clean up and doing other bits and pieces around here myself. And we'll throw it over to you there, Al. VK4 Mike Victor, VK4BAD.
VK4BAD in the group VK4MB. Yeah, good evening, Don, Jake and Gary. And yes, all very good. I'd do a clean up here, but I'd just end up losing things again. I'm best if I look for something and I'll find something I wasn't looking for, or it's the thing I was looking for yesterday I'll find today. So, but anyway, it's an adventure. And yes, the repeater's sounding good. On this radio, it's about S4 with the preamp on, the new the new repeater, and it's yeah, nice and clear. and I can, most time, I think, well, I've got to probably run the 50 watts, but I can open it up. So that's 130 odd K, according to Google Earth, straight towards the bunyas, the left-hand side of Kyangra, and hits the nail on the head at the other end. So pretty effective. And the Tate radio was registering minus 106 dBm, whereas the Kyangra is coming here at minus 80, 79 minus 80. And this radio one tonight, the 847, is it's 60 dB over 9 for the Kyangra, and that's what I say, with the preamp on about S4. But it's still good sounding audio and quite clear and usable. But no signal strength without the preamp on. So, well done, Jake, on going up and finding that problem. Interesting that the first time I looked at them, I went back and looked at the paperwork, and they were about minus 70 on the notch, which that's what I found when I first looked at them. So it must just take a certain amount of bumping and something moves. So hopefully they're stable enough to stay there and keep going for us. And yeah, I've still got the printouts of when I finished with them, so be interested to compare if you've taken some views of what your tuning was. Okay, round to you, Jake, VK4GRB and the group, VK4 Mike Victor.
Yeah, thanks Al. VK4 Mike Victor, VK4GRB in the group. I just had to work out what this sound was. It's a fan in this radio starting. I'm only running 5 watts tonight into the RET repeater, and it's sounding quite good. And I can receive the other one over in Emergen here as well. It's about an F4 to 5 tonight on this FT991A without any RX amplifiers or anything like that. My antenna's pretty high up on the roof here. It's about, I don't know, probably 6, 7, 8 metres above my roof here in Dalby, so it seems to work pretty well. Yeah, the duplexer for this repeater is a little bit odd. So we brought it down here into Dalby, and it was only about 75 dB of rejection on both sides of it, which was a little bit odd. So we tuned it up down here in town and got it to about 95 dB rejection on both sides. And then we took it up to the bunyas, and I thought, just to be sure, we'll take the R8000 test set that I used to tune them up to the bunyas and just double check them once we take them up there, just to make sure we hadn't knocked them or bumped them or upset them. And sure enough, once they were up there, they were back to 75. So it took about 20 minutes of retuning them again to get them back to about 95 dB of rejection. But yeah, then they only had to move across the hut very, very, very gently and sit in their place and get connected. So it's sounding all good tonight, but if we had to hook them back up without checking them, chances are the issue that we've been having previously may have returned. So what I'm thinking it was, well, what I'm putting it down to, in my experience, was the transmitter was getting back into the receiver and messing up the cyanide level, which this repeater uses to open and squelch, and it would just close, squelch, and then the transmitter would shut off and the cyanide level would return to normal. So the transmitter would start again and it would bugger itself back up. So anyway, it seems to be sorted, seems to be working quite well. So I might bump my power up a bit and try and call in to RME on the next round, and it might be a little bit scratchy, but I should get through to it. So all good. All right, that pretty well sums it up for me for a first round. So I'll chuck it over to Don, VK4FAX, VK4GRB in the group.
VK4GRB, Mr. Group, VK4FAX. Good evening there, Gary and Al and Jake. Got a bit of the lurgy, so I'm not all that bright tonight. Just as I'm walking across here with my cuppa, it's trying to rain here. It came in pretty dark this afternoon, and I thought, well, that's a bit odd. And it was cloudy and windy this morning, and we didn't see the sun till news that you found the problem out there, Jack, and well done to you. That's having the experience you've gained in the last year or two has really helped you to cover your tracks, I suppose, and do the due diligence and what have you. Not too much else to report around here. Plenty of things to do. Andy's well on the mend. He's home. And I'll just break for a tick. VK4FX returning. He's home. He came home on Friday, and he's starting to find feeling back in his hands, and things are just slowly improving. He's still in a fair bit of pain, but he's still his bright old self and busying himself with little tasks, radio-wise, and had a good chat to him today, and we've got another couple of little crochets he's going to program for CBers. Seems to be the cheapest way for people that want to go touring and keep in communication with groups. Some of them are spending $300 and $400 to put in car kits, and for $50 you can have a crocheting and close quarter conversations. They'll do the job. Okay, back to you there, Gary. VK4BAD, the group VK4FX.
VK4FAX in group VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Before we continue on, is there anyone else want to join the net? VK4BAD listening? Okay, nothing heard at the present time. Looks like it's only us four at the present. Okay, with that lot there, good news. I can hear everybody tonight. Bad news. In the background, I've got a set of cans on, of course, so I'm listening through. Al, you got a little bit of noise underneath you. Our normal friend's back again by looks. With Jake, with his deviation is very strong. Your deviation is. It's very. The noise is very minute. You just notice it under in Jake. With Jake, with his deviation up a little, and a little noise on Don. That's what I've noticed from my QDH here. If anyone else has heard the same what I heard, but other than that, yes. But it's not as pronounced as it used to be. It's there. But you got, as I said, I've got a set of cans on. But anyway, anyone else want to join the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club's Wednesday night net before we start the last round? VK4BAD. Okay, all I got was a mic chunk. That station want to call in, VK4BAD. Okay, nothing heard from that lot. Okay, other than that, no worries there, Don, with Andy. That's good to hear. Yes, Jake, You've been pretty busy, and you're glad you got your 5 days off. Hi. And no worries there, Al. So without any run, we'll start the next round. VK4 Mike Victor, VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Over to you there, Al.
VK4BAD and the group VK4 Mike Victor. I'll crank the power up a little bit more. I might have only been on about 10 watts, so we'll go up to 50, and that should quieten that noise down. Yes, I could just hear that a little bit of white noise under Don's signal, but nowhere near as evident as it sometimes is. So that's all good. Yeah, great. Oh, that's great news to hear that Andy's on the way. He'll get himself back to his normal self, which is really good. Thanks for that news. And it's a bit strange. I thought it would get dark over here. It might have rained a bit. So I had the bins out the back. I hosed them out after yesterday, and they put them away. I'm sure they didn't fill up with water. Other than that, what did I do? A bit of research today. Went and did some shopping, and what else? I can't think of anything that wasn't all that important. Just chasing some faults on the radio, just by circuit analysis, trying to get familiar with it. It's interesting. Just watched a video of a guy in the UK that's slowly working on a live steam small locomotive. And nice to see him back and describing how he goes about doing things. He's very old school, and he's quite a young bloke. He's an engineer for Rolls-Royce, and he's quite an entertaining chap. So quite enjoy his witticisms and his technique. Yeah, great to see. Interesting with those cans. I'm just wondering if it's a heating, cooling, cycling or something like that contributes to it, because they were pretty right when we first put them up there as far as that, and there was no desensing, so I doubt anybody's been up there and given them a kick, but we have changed from quite cold times to warmer times, so a bit of expansion and contraction. Hard to know. Everything should resist that. So, but anyway, over time we'll look at it and see what happens. I wonder how you're going with the HF antenna. Now you use the VHF ones at OK at home. I wonder how you sorted a problem with that HF one. Whether it has anything to do with coax with a different velocity factor. VK4GRB in the group, VK4 Mike Victor.
VK4 Mike Victor, VK4GRB, returning to the group. I was trying the new repeater here, but my VSWR is a little bit high. I think this diamond antenna is not tuned very well. Going to change back to RET. Stand by. VK4GRB returning. Hope you got that little bit of the first bit there. Al and Gary and Don. So, yeah, for some reason my VSWR up in the higher end of 2 metres here isn't fantastic. So I know these diamond antennas, well, the X200s anyway, first one I got wasn't tuned very well for the higher end. And it appears this one isn't either. It was about 1.8 to 1 just then. So anyway, I'm back. No, I haven't got to the bottom of my HF antenna issues here either. My next probably step with that is to drop the mast down, that's on my roof, and just attach a short fly lead to directly to the bottom of the HF antenna and test it right there and see what it reads like. But other than that, if it reads no good, then it all points to an antenna issue. But if it reads good, then I'll probably investigate the coax a little bit more. Put a dummy light on the end of it up on the roof and come back inside and test it. And if it tests good, well, I've got nothing else to point to other than the coax itself. I had it running on RG213 beforehand, so just single shielded cable. But now it's running on CNT 400, which is pretty well equivalent to LMR 400. And I've got a roll of it, so I thought rather than running 58, I'll just run 3 runs of that at my mast for my 3 antennas and keep it simple, keep them all the same. But I didn't think the overkill would have had a bad effect, but it may have too. So a bit further investigation is required when I get keen enough to drop the antenna and the mast down off the roof. So anyway, all right. Yeah, everything here seems to be working quite well. That noise that's very low in the background, I got it on Don and Al's transmission there. It is still there, and I can hear it on the uplink. So my noise floor on the uplink just jumps up a little bit in that section. So I'd say it's it's something just, interference from somewhere. I don't think it's anyone directly causing it. I'd say it's coming out of something else, and it's a harmonic, just at a guess. So that requires a bit further investigation, so I'll try and pinpoint where it is. So over to you, Don, I suppose. VK4FAX, VK4GRA.
VK4GRA, VK4FAX was the group, yeah. Thanks, Jack. Well, I'm only on 10 watts here, of course, so it'll be what it'll be, being the distance I am from the venues. There's a strange one on Monday night. We called in on the Dolby 70 centimetre 438-700, and John, who is at ZJE, who normally can't access it, was able to access it and had a conversation with us, whether it was just ducting or something that was going on, or whether you've done something with the 70 centimetre repeater there, Jake. But anyway, he was very chuffed that he could get in and join us on Monday evening. Something's going well for him. Okay, I'll put it back to Gary. I won't be long out of the cot, I don't think, the way I'm feeling. Clean the fangs and now bed my cuppa and throw me head on the bed and see if I can get a decent night's sleep without coughing. VK4BAD, the group VK4FAX.
VK4 FAX, VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Before we close down the net there tonight, is anyone else want to call in, say hello, goodbye before we close the net? VK4BAD. Okay, nothing heard at the present time. Okay, yeah, no worries on that one there, Don. And Jake, you came through the link okay. Might be a little bit of 50 cycle hum up on that tableland. Have a listen back later on there, Jake, on your little transmit through there. And you'll hear a little bit of sound like a bit of power line noise or something. Yes, I seen that photo there today. What you put up there earlier on. So no problems on that one. I think the guys would have seen that one as well. Okay. With that one there, before we close the net off, does anyone else want to come in and say hello, goodbye before we close this net down for tonight? Okay, I've heard nothing at all. Okay, I'd like to thank VK4 Mike Victor Al in Derby, VK4 Jake for all the work they've done the last couple of days, and on the repeater. And Jake, of course, is in Derby, and VK4FAX Don in Drayton. Okay, you take care of yourselves there. And this is VK4BAD. I'll now return back to my home call of VK4 Golf Romeo Bravo, Gary in Faryiryland. Until the same time next Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m, 1930 hours, 0930 UTC. This is Victor Kilo 4 Golf Romeo Bravo saying 7-3, and catch us all later next week for the next Wednesday night's net. VK4GRB out.